you on safely.
I can't. It just
Oh my god.
I think I need to make a weird body sound.
Why, hello, and welcome to issue 722 of Geek in the City Radio. I am one of your hosts, Aaron.
I'm one of your hosts.
and I'm your other host, Kay Washtime.
Howdy. I really don't time it on. I just hit, like, it's just, I think you just have really good comedic timing.
Half the time, I've done it on purpose.
See, that's how clueless I am lately.
No, I'm doing it specifically for
For-
you. From doing it for you.
The royal you. Don't just do it for me and Cable.
I mean, the listeners, too. But ostensibly you're my audience, right?
Oh,
because
thanks.
because you're the ones whose laughter I can hear, and that's really all that matters.
Yeah. I had something and it's gone. So I'll be up front. I'm going on 3 hours of sleep. Um, I I love the home that I have built. I don't want to stay in this building, or at least at this location. If I was 2 blocks, I feel like in either direction, it would not be as loud. I would not have the train on a turn.
I don't know that that's true. I think that you would still run into that problem because, well, maybe.
I've lived by trains, and I've never experienced this ungodly shriek sound.
Yeah. The other thing that shows up is the area called the yards
Oh, yeah.
on the riverfront.
And I specifically avoided those, no matter how cool they actually looked back in the day. Anyway. Hmm?
They're not cool. Oh, I'm not gonna blow my nose.
Okay,
I
okay.
think it might be your building that's the problem, because you can hear a train from just about anywhere in town,
Yeah.
and yet
Talking about the brakes.
most people aren't.
And it's not the sound of the train, like that doesn't bug me. It doesn't toot its horn. Doesn't toot, toot. It doesn't do. Get back to that in a minute. It's just that turn. It's on a turn under the 84 pass there or whatever. It's just it's so loud. And it's the right pitch that it goes through noise canceling earphones. So even when I wear my noise canceling stuff, I still hear that.
Interesting.
Um,
Maybe you need different noise canceling. Like brown noise versus pink noise versus white noise.
I mean, maybe, but this is like, I mean, it's like having extra tinnitus. It's that kind of high pitched ringing thing. I wonder if I was on the other side of the building, would it be quieter? You
I don't
know,
know.
so I gotta remember to keep looking at you in person when we're doing the show.
I mean, you don't have to.
But that's my natural provocation when it's the thing.
Cam and I used to look at each other, next to each other.
I know.
It's fine.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it is. That's where I'm at.
Right. So you're tired.
I'm tired.
Got it.
I'm very, when I don't sleep well, um, I puts extra stress, and I like every once in a while I feel my heartbeat and I freak out.
That does seem above and beyond the normal amount of pattern.
It's just when I'm very exhausted and worn out. I can feel I'm like, okay, just breathe, just be fine.
Sounds more like a culmination of not just one night of bad sleep, but
Yeah.
several days worth of things. And yesterday or last night was the
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that's a big part of it, um, anyway, that's me. It's
Uh, I'm fine. I'm I'm stressed out. Just work stuff. Everything's fine, but it's just a stressful time.
at work stuff,
Yes,
yeah.
and I can only.
You can enjoy your work and it can still be
Oh,
stressful.
for sure.
Oh, yeah.
How do I?
Yeah, we're getting the NDA in trouble stuff with
No, no, I'm not about to like divulge contract secrets or anything.
don't be like a certain my bad, and I touched a foot.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That was
No one in this stream can say otherwise.
that's true.
Um, no, there's just a lot going on, and as an assistant, I can only take on so much. I can't fix your problems for you as your assistant. I can only support you in whichever one of these 70 problems you tackle today.
Right.
So, but that stresses me out.
Oh, that you can't.
Yeah, because part of me is like, move over. I'm doing this.
You hired me to do these things.
That's not really an option. How it works.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah. Yeah, I totally understand. I get that way.
Just go to the playground and push the other kids down and take their ice cream, except for the ice cream is problems.
Is the other kid your boss?
Yes. I couldn't think of a different, a better analogy than
That's better.
push the kids down and take their ice cream.
That's better than I thought the other kids that she's pushing down are the problems. Like
I mean, they might be
you're
once
trying to you're pushing the problem down so you can take the ice cream and give it to the other kid that you're says like, don't blame the other kids just because your kid is having
But wait, is the job the ice cream?
no.
No. See that all of these analogies are better. Mine, the ice cream is problems,
Ice
and the
cream's
other kids are my boss.
That's a chaotic world. First off, ice cream is never a problem. Ice cream loves you.
Ice cream is a solution.
Yeah,
You let-
ice cream. Good night.
That's it. That's the show.
Try to be tip your tip your waitress.
What I'd really like to do is going to Goodwills and estate sales and finding old furniture and bringing it home and refurbishing it. That's my current obsession.
Is that your new hyper focus?
That's my hyper focus right now. Is furniture woefully underfurnished.
You see all the pictures.
Right, and I'm like, oh, I should just look for an old piece somewhere and do it nice. Really fun, as you saw.
I saw it,
Yeah.
It looks nice.
You consider this house underfurnished? Oh,
Empty space everywhere.
Oh no, places. I love that song.
no.
Um, um, dash or makeshift, like that bookshelf is. I got it for free. Probably not the best one that could be there. When I moved into this house, that whole room was nothing in it.
That's true.
There was a box when we finished unpacking.
You always had two TVs? Or is that a more recent?
No, the one up here is a garage sale find.
Look at you. Oh, I remember I was over when like Christian was lugging it home.
Yeah.
They had popped over for something else.
Yeah, we want.
Yeah, yeah. Nice.
Even if I didn't need more furniture, I would still want to. I would still rather be flipping furniture than going to work.
Sure.
'Cause that's more fun.
I get it. Like every once in a while, I get that romantic notion of what it would be like. Like, what if I could like not keep reading, but like, what if I did just making nerdy candles into well, like that's not
Basic income.
sure, but we're just not gonna get it.
I'm sort of at this point where I'm like, Would I start my own business? Sure, probably. People do it all the time.
Yeah.
But what's left at this point? You know, like I got this, cutting machine for crafts, and I'm scouring the internet looking for like cool ideas, and all of the feeds are, use your to make a small business. Sell stickers. And I'm like, okay, well that's done. That's being
Sure,
done.
yeah.
Yeah. Also, flipping furniture, pottery, not- it's all being done.
Yeah.
So what do what could I possibly add to this, cottage industry, custom or what, fill in the blank.
What if we all
Do you want the honest fucking answer?
I don't know. I feel like you're something that's either or gonna be like crazy and insightful. And I'm like, why didn't I think of that?
why not both?
I think you have thought of it. I think everyone thinks about it. But as soon as you think about it, you look at it in the face, and go, oh, well, then that means I have to figure out what that is. The thing that you have to offer when you do any sort of artistic endeavor, and it's something that is being created across the board in our capitalist wasteland,
Mhm.
is this. The thing that you add to it is you. That no one else can do that. You and you.
That
Who are you? That's the part where you have to take a long, hard look in the mirror and figure out what it is that you actually bring to the table. You do bring things to the table. Yes.
so you say.
I have a piece of your art in my home.
I have 2 of them. I use them constantly.
I drink coffee out of it.
I go out and make a living off of that.
That-
That's like that's one
I get it. I
perspective.
get what you're saying.
But that there and that's where we get into the discussion of you want to make money or do you want to make art?
Those are two completely different things.
Yep.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, what? There's a lot of hobbies and interests that I partake in. Wouldn't it be nice if I could make that, be a source of income? But I'm not doing it to at a level
Right.
that where it's going to generate income.
The ramp up period.
Oh yeah, we talked about that a lot. There's also
Yeah.
like getting production quality level, which is different from track quality level. I know. I'm just kidding. Just as a shorthand for the difference.
So right. So we joked about this before, but what if you and I actually sat down sometime and we're like, let's look at some weird art or like some kind of craft thing that's happening in like October or November. Go in and we buy a table together and I prep candles, we pour it in your mold, we make it nerdy and witchy and RPG or whatever. And all it has to do is pay enough for us to have a like that weekend of like, "Oh, okay, well, this is kind of what it feels like. I get to enjoy it because I don't have to think about if I don't sell X amount, I don't pay rent." I don't
Oh, yeah. About it.
I don't wanna say get it out of our system, that's not how I mean it, but, like, it's, it
I mean, we would technically probably be out of our system. We would move on to some
I mean
other.
I mean, maybe. The only time I really stopped making candles is when I realized I can't my friends like them, but, like, even there, they're like, "Dude, I have, like, 4 now, like, I love them, where am I gonna keep putting them?" That's just hang on. Use them.
I burn my candles.
I go through so many. That's why I still buy them, even though I make a lot, I still 'cause like, "Oh, this isn't evil." I have a couple brands out that are local that I actually like.
Still buy candles, even you. But I think that's the last of your candles right there.
Well, you might be too. That's okay. I'm feeling it. You know, boy, it's just going all over the place. Norm says, Goth Cottage Core D&D story. You get the OnlyFans and Hot Topic crap.
Understand how cottage stores and OnlyFans. Maybe that's not topic crowd, but
I mean,
you're gonna have to elaborate on that, Norm. Well,
I don't know.
Let me get on this anyway.
We're all going through a crisis of what the fuck do we do with our life. At least I am. I said the inside part out loud.
All right, this is gonna be one of those shows. This is what
No, we actually have more interviews lined up, but like this is a
this is a dry week.
Hello, listeners. What? You're the city radio.
Hi, you're on the air. We'll take
man.
we'll take your therapy questions. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Norm, you're the only one in here right now.
Oh, God.
He was, and I said, hey, that was the test. Be back in 15, and then he finished. Yeah.
Come
Oh.
back, Brian.
Yeah.
We'll ask-
And now Bex is here.
Bex, what do you want to know? Yeah, so last week, Mad Fraction, finally. That was
Super
great.
fun. Yeah, it was great.
I do hope that all of you have a chance to go and listen to that. Please.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. I mean, we were able to at least pull a couple listener questions.
Yeah,
and
audio
we
sounds
have
great.
most of them, so
Yeah. Here's the great irony. I remember I said, like, oh, I'll find this. We could maybe try it out. I haven't time. It just, and my, it's like, what? Even with,
Think about it when you're here and we are actively doing
Yeah.
the show.
this is a long way to say,
no.
yeah, this is a long way to say, I turned Restream back on today. It's going to have that issue again.
I thought of it.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys hear us. I did nothing different. Nothing.
I don't know.
I-
What more can we say?
I don't know. I just,
There's a glitch in the matrix. It's fine.
yeah, that's fine.
Like that. But that was last week. And now
Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, it's,
Took away from the quality. Of
No, it's great. yeah, no.
yeah, the part is
Yes.
please go listen to the interview
Yeah.
if you have not done so already.
Finish watching Monarch. That's all right. I think there's some spoilery stuff.
Well, he talks about he talks about performances in like the second to last and last.
Yeah.
So, actually, we went and watched them after the interview last week. I watched the last two again to catch things that Matt specifically mentioned that he was impressed when he saw them being filmed. I'm gonna go back and look for those now.
What I wish had gone differently, and I feel like this happens a lot, is sometimes we get really excited about who we're interviewing because it's a project that we really enjoy, and we have all these questions and things that we talk about. And really, we should probably hand over the mic and open it up. You got a lot to say.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
I mean, it's good.
I didn't expect that either. Until he started talking and I understood what was going on, especially towards the end of it. The end of the I don't remember if this ended up on air recorded or not, but when he said, I've been doing this for 5 years and I can talk to people.
Yeah, that was on there.
So that is, I think that was what drove him to talk more because he was very.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you said that's really good word for it. I'm excited to see what happens with that show.
Yeah,
I did notice that he did not confirm or deny whether or not there's going to be a season.
Yes.
I feel like that's just how. I feel like with older, whatever, quote traditional TV back in the day, you kind of knew how to do your season. A lot of the shows in the day, shows were like if you got picked up, you were picked up for 2 years.
Mhm.
Right. They do a deal.
Yeah, I mean, granted, this is back to where, like, cable existed, but it was not what it is now.
Like,
Broadcast cable. Um,
Does that make me analog? No.
yes.
I
But,
never had that joke.
I don't know. But I feel like with streaming, they don't do that anymore because streaming is run by tech CEOs, not even the argument that there are no smart, like, you know, it's easy to say like, well, all studios, whatever, but I feel like back in the day, like the studios we all know, like they were run by presenters, people like show people, and now it's all once they started calling everything content and not entertainment,
Mhm.
not drama, not it all became our content creators. It all went
I don't feel like I ever see television shows being described as content.
that I'm talking about the inside kind of baseball, like when you work with a publisher or like when you work within it, like internal members would be like, we believe in the content
Yeah, they're that and they receive this of like intellectual people.
right.
But it all it's all the same thing. It gets back into you are creating art in some form, you need a way to package it. So
Real
they,
quick, Norm, you were asking uh, therapy questions for us to answer about ourselves,
No,
but I think the assignment is what are your
that's
personal therapy questions?
we will answer so we can avoid out. Actually, I know all mine. Requires the action to follow through.
I have something that is completely off topic, well, not completely off topic. It's
Sure.
slightly relevant to what we're talking about, but mostly off topic.
Mostly.
And I know you're really talking about this, but I don't care because it is what it is. I'm the age that I am, and I've got the influences that I have. The break, like our December
Oh yeah,
Christmas
yeah.
break, and I also had a break from work, and I go into gremlin mode, like room while I'm doing them.
find one mode.
Uh, gremlin mode, going feral,
Mhm.
Okay.
staying up all night,
That was fine.
probably not eating enough,
That's true.
Mhm.
and I'm a new show to watch. Worked on, I worked on that piece, and I decided to watch Dawson's Creek.
That's a choice.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you watched it before?
Yes.
You were a fan before? Okay.
Are the Dawson's Creek characters are exactly 1 year older than that. I was 13 or 14 when the show came out, and they are
Okay.
so they're like literally 1 year ahead of me. Also, I don't think that I'd ever finished watching the series because that show went on for years.
Mhm.
So, like, graduated high school and went off to college.
Also, they didn't keep them in high school forever.
No, they were it's not that they got older. So, they after 4 years, they had to graduate high school. And I don't even know when it struck for me or when I caught it for the first time because again, I am paying attention, but I'm not looking or even like in the same room. Um, 'Cause I'm working on. You'll never guess who is one of the like creator like not probably they're probably listed as an EP. It's not created by this person. It's an EP.
Right.
Yes.
I don't know why, but I feel like at one time J.J. Abrams was connected to Dawson's Creek.
Close.
Or not, no, I'm confusing.
Abrams created wasn't.
Right. Okay. What was
It's close because Fringe, which had Josh and Jackson on.
Ah.
And
Fringe, aka the Pacey Denethor. That's what I call it.
You can
Love that shit.
say it. You see when it doesn't.
I never watched Fringe.
Oh.
I just there's a whole
Oh, you just hate it by default.
no. I said I hated Fringe.
I feel like you
I
have
don't
been hating Fringe
No.
for a number of years.
It does the one thing that long Alias.
Wait.
Really?
Yeah, Alias hits a point. Like,
Oh my god.
oh, I'm done.
Yeah, there's a
Much like-
part you can just stop watching it, and you get what you want out of it.
I feel like the last episode of Alias I watched, like, yeah, they were good. Had a round red ball.
Oh, he loves
Yeah.
red balls.
And then,
He just does.
and then
The
Lost,
red matter and Charger. He just
Lost, I watched the entire first season and said, that was fantastic. And season 2, I'm not watching any of this show ever again. What? Why? I watched Alias. I know what happens next. What happens next? Disappointed.
I don't
Because I definitely felt like there was a point where this is like a completely different show.
see that's what I
Fringe, also Dollhouse.
I feel like I watched some of the latter episodes of Fringe because especially when Nimoy got more involved. Right? He's in it, right? He shows up
is,
for
and
but I remember someone telling
he's
me
a great guy.
see, I remember someone telling me like when Fringe first started, they were like, "Oh, it's like," they were like, "it's like another kind of like low X-Files."
Yes.
And I was like, "Well," and at the time, this is right when X-Files kind of wrapped, and it wrapped badly.
Sure.
Last season X-Files, and I was just like, I don't. And I think at the time also in my life there was not a lot of appointment viewing for me because I didn't have a DVR. This is free streaming kind of. There's entire shows that literally was like, why didn't you watch it? Just didn't get to it. Fringe is one of them. It was Fire Tuesday. Like you should go look at it now. I'm like, well, you said it was just like a boring X-Files. They're like, no, something weird happened and it's a different show now. And then I just got around.
Starts off almost as though we're a monster show.
Sure.
So I guess that's probably what people mean by it's very much like X Files, which I never saw, so
Which is
it's
funny.
hard for me to make a comparison. But it gets bigger and weirder as the show.
Mhm.
I loved it. I thought it was one of the best shows that no one watched.
I'll go back and watch it. I'm sure one day. It's just gonna take one of those things like, oh, I'm sick and I don't want to put on my normal comfort. You know what? I'll finally get through.
Um, question to go back to like Kevin Williamson, but probably wrong.
So Kevin Williamson, whose work I don't know actively, is
Scream.
Mm.
that makes sense. So he is, he shows up as the created by
That's right.
Greg
Okay.
Berlanti.
Oh, right.
That's right. This was his first. That's right. I knew he got started on something. Yeah.
Now, oh my God, that makes so much sense. Because what am I saying about like all of the WB shows that he was the runner for? Is like it's cool, but it's a lot of like really angsty teen talk.
Yeah.
Wrapped up in this spoil level, but also I'm a super and like the love interests are never communicating properly. And this is why they have a problem. And
Right.
say what you mean.
Just say you're the Flash. Just tell Iris.
You did.
No, I'm doing the.
I appreciate that became a plot. That was a deliberate reaction to how annoyed viewers were with Eric doing the same thing to Laurel Lance.
They took a long time on Arrow initially.
It did take a long time, and so when it came up again and they did it on the Flash, that's why the producers kept saying, "We know, stay with us.
Right.
We know, stick with us." It's like, stop dragging us, like, stick with us. And so when the reveal happens, and Iris went, "Are you fucking kidding me? You told everyone but me
Oh,
I'm the best friend. I'm the person you can confide in. Are you fucking kidding me?" And all, someone please give Iris anything she wants. Yeah.
so why do we think it's weird if you watch? I actually have a weird. So I never watched Dawson's Creek. Wasn't quite my thing, and where I didn't. Yeah, but that's never stopped me from watching things. I am the one who is freely.
I didn't want
I am the one who has freely admitted. I did finally watch it. I watched all the Descendants show on Disney, where they're the high school kids and all the Disney villains, and I even liked it as a grown ass man. I was like, man, if I was 16, this would have been like jam. It's still,
Like anything, if the hook is right.
yeah, yeah,
A Star Wars for babies, Star Trek for babies. You know,
I don't know what Star Wars for babies would be, but I'd probably watch it. Actually, I do know it's that weird kind of cutesy, the animated Tales of the Jedi thing.
Let's go with that rather than me saying anything based on Star Wars. So.
Oh, also, what is? Man, there must just be phrases in Texas that just don't translate to American.
What does it mean that something is
What
a
is a?
chicken and jalapenos viewing?
Yeah, what is that?
No, I also wanted to on some new
All
or
I,
another level.
all I can think of is that Norm knows us and me so well. He knows the stories of back when I was just a bachelor for a weekend. Um, when it was my bachelor weekend, my favorite thing to do, because my abuela would do this, I would buy fucking frozen banquet fried chicken, put it in the oven, and then eat a jar of jalapenos while watching my shame shows. So he might actually be referencing that. All right.
Clarify for us.
By the way, that's delicious. At least in my, it hits the nostalgia, which makes it amazing.
Sure.
You're, what are you not saying about Star Wars shows?
This is me not saying. I'm trying to think if there's been anything that I've gone through and went, oh, I'm going to watch this whole
Oh, and I just would make fun of this
Oh.
because like Friends or Frasier or Seinfeld or whatever, it's white. It's very white.
Oh. Well, I mean, so was TV.
We called it.
I
Okay,
feel
yes.
like that we have tried to do a very good job of nurturing an environment where we don't tease people or shit on things that they like to do. Isn't that?
I mean, I will poke fun at you for fun, but not like as a judgment thing. It's like people make fun of me for watching my absolutely awful Ghost Adventures. They're horrible.
Like,
I'm not saying you feel that. I was just preemptively going, I know you guys are allowed to this, but this is I watched this white show for teens.
I never saw Dawson's Creek as that. I guess in my head. For me, the ones that always just scream "I am a white" show is Frasier. But Friends is
Level because it's not just that he's white; it's that he's like whitier than
Yeah.
whitier. It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes.
Okay.
There are.
I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, we all.
I feel like we hate each other, right?
Yeah.
It was like acting like that. Regular people.
But I think that's.
That
Wow.
makes it funny?
Are we
That's
analyzing?
what made him funny
Yeah.
on Cheers. He
Yeah.
was
Intellectual.
Harvard educated, high intellectual amongst Boston common people.
Right. mean, that's what it was on Frasier too. His dad's a regular person. His dad's nurse. All the women, a lot of the women he dated
Mhm.
in that show. Not his ex-wife. His wife.
Lilith.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, the counterpoint is that his brother is even snottier. Miles is even snottier.
No.
No, whatever. That's right.
Um,
Miles is a very nice girl. We just like to abuse. Yeah.
then it became, well, with him and his more people are like that. Which is
Also not.
true. Like that paints a very different picture of Seattle.
Mm.
That it's like
Yeah.
the Seattle that Frasier lived in was a lot more like Millionaire Club and
Like
higher.
Upper East Side
Yeah,
of New
yeah,
York.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like, has there ever been, or just whatever, has there ever been like a show or movie based in Seattle that actually seems to represent Seattle? Like,
Singles.
unknowingly, the one that I personally think comes closest is Singles.
That's what I just said.
Oh, I'm sorry. And I actively loathe that movie.
Why do you loathe Singles?
Maybe I can finally watch it again. The main reason why I don't like Singles is A, grunge never did it for me. So that entire moment in pop culture and music, I did not identify with. I didn't get it. I understood talent, it just wasn't for me. I didn't, and again, I think it's because at that time I was still coming out of a small town, and the idea of, like, not being happy that you were in a rock band, I couldn't understand what that meant. Like, I couldn't like the statements these songs were making. They didn't speak to me. They just didn't. Um, and then I started working at Suncoast with a couple people who can't get enough of that scene or, like, Jane's Addiction, and all they would do is talk about all these bands being in the movie, and I don't know why, but it was, like, every day, and eventually I'm like, I don't wanna be around it. I can't stand it. I don't want anything to do with it.
The movie, all these people needed
I
to
know. I just
watch another
but then
movie.
every time someone else brings up Singles, then all they start talking about is, "Oh, this reminds me of the best time in music." I'm like, "I don't get it. It's me. If you like it, good."
I got nothing because I've never seen it, and I don't have anything against grunge.
I've
I don't have anything against it. I just it never spoke to me.
On the scale of compared to you, I love grunge.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I like I'm defending something to like my personal I was like, it's just
I feel like you lost the thread of what you were talking
yeah, no, it's
about, which
gone.
was you aren't aware of any piece of
Oh,
media
yeah, Singles.
that, yeah, signifies what Seattle was actually like at that particular period, and Singles does
Yeah,
actually
that's what I meant.
effectively do that.
Yes, that's what I meant. Sure as shit isn't sleep
Frasier's, that's not.
or Sleepless in Seattle.
Oh god,
Like, I
It's
don't
not
think
really about
like, yeah, I mean, I don't think there's one that's ever been, like, really accurately expresses Portland, maybe Drugstore of that era. That's Van Sant, right? Early Gus Van Sant?
yes. So would my own private. I don't know, which is also Gus Van Sant.
Right. You know how long it took me to realize that that took place in Portland? I do.
I one that took place in Portland. I knew people. I had been in Portland for about a year at that point, and knew people. I don't know. I was in Portland less than that. It was within my first year,
Right.
and I had met people who were on the streets and were male prostitutes. That was their life. And then I went and watched this movie, and I'm like, I don't. What the fuck is going on? It was really weird. It was much the same way the like it's that movie like I'm not just watching something that's what's going on here. It was like anytime I encounter art and start saying things, I'm like, wait, you're talking about you were talking. the I first started listening to the Decemberists, you know, and then he starts singing about the bus mall. Anywhere. No, you're talking about the bus mall in the 80s. Oh God, are you from Portland? Yes. All right.
The bus. What
It's
is bus?
in between 4th and 5th.
Yeah. The streets, the 5th and 6th Avenues,
Mhm.
that is the bus mall. That's why it's predominantly bus traffic in downtown Portland.
And
It
the
goes up
streetcar
and down, and the streetcar.
Oh, okay.
and it's actually designed that way. So Portland is kind of on a slight hill. They specifically, when they were designing that part of downtown, we were gonna have a bus mall. I learned this job. It's designed to where no matter what end of the bus mall you're at, you can see all the way to the end, almost to the end of the other one, other side. So you could go Jefferson and 6th and see all the way to Burnside from because of the way they do it. It's a slide. I mean, it won't be easy, but you can see every stop you might need. And it was specifically designed that way, like, they shaved part of the road when they installed small lanes in so that you could see it that way. It was done on purpose. There you go.
Oh,
You know, I keep wanting to ask, I forgot. Does he have a creek? Is that why it's called Dawson's Creek? Does Dawson own a creek or his family?
oh, a freak. Town in Connecticut or Massachusetts or some shit. And his house is like off the creek. Like
Okay,
it's like
I mean
it's creekside property.
that's kinda what I always assumed, but there was always a part of me of like, "Does he have his own creek? Is that why? Or is it just like a local and that's where they hung out as kids?" It's like,
The reason they focus on the creek is because Joey, the best friend slash love interest, she lives on the other side of the creek, and so to hang out, she rows a boat down to his side of the creek, I guess, and
uh,
then climbs up the ladder and comes through the window.
that's
A la
smart. And did that ever happen? Because that was a thing with me.
what?
All of my friends came through the window in my place.
No,
They rarely you would use the door.
no.
Actually, no. All my guy friends would. All my friends that were girls would just come in through the window and hang out.
Yeah, I thought that was like my mom wanted people to come in through the front door, and she didn't want to come over before they did.
Oh, yeah, my mom would like, "Mijo, is that Andrea here?" "Yeah." "Tell her hi for me." Now with my sister, it's completely different.
If you're not hearing me, girl comes over, climbs in the window, and then your mom is like, "Is that your friend who just came over?"
Yeah.
That's different.
No, I know, that's what I was about to say, but my sister had a completely different. No one was allowed to crawl into her even though because she had my own room, I gave her my own room. Like, "Look, I don't need a bed now." In high school, I'm like, "I don't need this big ass room."
In floor, it's no climbing. It's no easier to go in through a window than it is to the front door.
I mean,
I
yeah,
lived
we
in a
were
double wide
so
with
did I.
sliding door windows with screens on them, no one climbed in or out.
That's the same thing I had. The screen just finally popped out one day, and we never put it back in.
Yeah, no.
No. I don't know.
That's
Because
why
I
I
was
didn't have friends visit.
maybe because I was so awkward around girls, my mom would just get really excited and the girl would just climb into my bedroom. Nothing ever happened. Maybe she was like, "He's so awkward around."
Not like now.
No, not like now. I'm not at all still awkward at all times. So
Um,
we didn't have a
other
okay. Well, that was my pop culture question. I'm I got nothing else. I'm satiated. I have no other pop culture questions. Everything else I know the answer to. Yeah.
Really?
Yes, that's it.
question.
That's right.
What's up with the creek?
It's the last fig leaf. That's a whole 'nother thing. I'm a fan of it.
What?
That's a thing. Yeah. I love that movie.
Yeah, I think this is not even the first time you quoted that movie.
No, not at all.
I clearly haven't seen it enough times.
God, Pacino just choose anyway.
He knows all over the place.
Oh yeah, he is. Man, it's ridiculous.
I discovered yesterday that he's in a movie called Jack and Jill,
Mhm.
starring Sandler and Sandler as both Jack and Jill,
Nope.
Nope. Don't need that.
and Al Pacino is in love with Jill. There you go.
Is he playing his own sister? Is that what he's doing?
Yes.
I think I've seen the poster and the trailers for that.
Yep.
Because that was a few years ago, right?
Sure.
Like many movies, they've been written 15 years ago.
That's true.
It's
Are you saying that he's just eternal, just America's greatest treasure?
by eternal you mean stale.
Like herpes? I don't know. Now we're gonna get the Uncut Gems is really good.
That's not his movie.
I know.
Plays in that. It's not his movie.
I also can't watch it with too much stress. So much tension in it, I can't do it.
I don't even know what it's about anymore. I'm sure I knew it something, but
Yeah, you're not missing. It's fine.
I don't want to find out what it's about.
Okay.
Like I've
Hustling.
yeah, like the intensity of which all of the characters are only interacting in that.
Mhm.
trailer is like, this is not my vibe. Also, there's no robots. There's no spaceship.
When you
I don't.
said robots, the way I heard it in my head was there's no robots and lasers. I'm like, I would watch a show called Robots and Lasers.
There is no.
Romance. That's
Yeah,
right.
well,
It's the sci-fi bodice ripper, the Romance and Lasers.
oh dear Lord, there's an RPG coming out soon that is. I'm probably going to get the name wrong. This may have just been part of but it's essentially it's a Sentai and sensibilities.
Wow.
I'm like I
Is that the name of the game? Or
I think so. I think it's Sentai and sensibilities.
let's do it real time. Like that card game that you and I were really into for a while, Marrying Mr. Darcy.
I'll never forget because you bring it up at least twice a year.
I just remember how much fun we had it. It felt that we could get really into character. And
That was the
yeah, it was for the game and like judging people for trying like how you want to go to your piano recital.
It's still
I know.
yes, Sentai and sensibility. It's crowdfunding right now. This is not an ad for Sentai and sensibility.
It is now.
I don't know any people. If you want to go check them out, go check them out. I just find the concept hilarious. It's Victorian era um, love and romance and high society
And Power
and
Rangers.
Power Rangers.
I mean,
you know,
Regency of Rangers and Girls.
love to play with the Regency era.
Yep.
Yeah.
Regency playing of Rangers and romances. It's yeah. Excellent.
What if Jane Austen wrote Power Rangers? Bridgerton meets. I mean, it's a hook.
It had $18 on Kickstarter. Has 20 days to go. It's got over $5,000. So the thing is,
Good for them.
I would absolutely check it out. I'd be terrible, but they've got my money.
You should run one. I know I'm always being like, you should try GMing one day because you're like, I don't have the skills for it, which I don't agree with. You know yourself.
you have everything else you absolutely need to do.
Yeah. Which is funny because I'll see you go do stuff and I'm like, I don't know how she just struts up there and fucking does it.
Well, that's why I don't have any confidence for other things. I've used it all up.
That's fair. It's like
we don't know.
it's like when I often play very bombastic characters in D&D and people are like, why do you always do that? And honestly, deep down, you know why? Because the character but I'm actually not. For as much as like, talk on the show and like this is all like show mode and stuff. But I wish I had half the confidence of the characters that I play in D&D. Oof, yes, it was a little bit of our own story there.
Yep.
Hey now.
It's been coming out the entire show.
Oh, that's
I just have been not. I'm at it
No, that's fine.
when it happens.
Um, yeah. You should try it. Just do it.
I'm sure I will at some point.
Yeah, you still got your My Two Gay Dads role-playing game or whatever.
Mhm.
My Two Daddies, or whatever that was.
It's hot guys making out.
I think the one,
I
Oh, yeah.
one that I'm looking forward to playing that when you get around to DMing a game is Go Light.
right over there. I haven't
Did that just come out? Or am I thinking yeah, I've actually been curious to pick that up myself. It sounds really
You can
cool.
borrow mine if you want. I
She's
haven't
back
even
to
read it yet.
Kickstarter.
Oh, yeah, I just
You were,
I browsers and I got so many
last year from Kickstarter.
man, I haven't even opened the fucking shrink wrap on my Planescape box yet. Oh, I'm delving into my gaming books.
Um, when we're talking about D&D.
But I have 3 other new game books that I haven't cracked open.
Oh, okay.
Like I
Well,
bought like I look, I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." Like You Got Me Inc., which I've been so excited about. I flipped through it once. My brain goes, "We don't have time."
trick your brain to following a schedule. It says, "No, I have time. See, I've allotted time right here.
Right.
Look at this. Look, I've made time."
Yes, these are things I need to do.
Yes.
We all allot our time differently. I don't ever allot as much time as you do to DNA. You have a Pinterest board. You have like incorporated real world history into your game, which requires a lot of research. You do a lot for your
I'm going to peel this back.
game.
Um, these are things that I already have a lot of this knowledge. I already have a lot of this historical, like I've read these things already. Now I have a place to put them.
Oh,
It is different. So yes, I spent a lot of time and energy and effort put into the game. Um, but that was back end work that was done before I knew any of you.
gotcha.
Yeah, and I have, like, 6 notebooks of random notes for our Ravenloft game.
And like the Pentagon is and we can shuffle a bunch of things that I will look at when I'm. It's like I don't sit there and research them and look at them
Real
deeply,
time.
but I will be on story plot or thinking about things, all of it. And go, all right, that was the thing that I want to do. All right. I know that these are tricks that work because they're tricks that I use when I am being paid to work. So I know how to integrate these things into some of my personal life. I figured out how to do that. So it helps that you're all involved. Because I'm doing this for you, I have more important. If I'm doing it for me, I will never get it.
Right.
It's never important.
That happens to me on a lot of stuff.
And the uncomfortable thing that I know that I'm not looking at is it's because I don't think I'm and I don't know how to address that or deal with it yet. And that's something that I need to pay someone to talk about.
Yes. I run into that when I try to buy you stuff. I'm like, "That brings cable joy."
Sonic, so that's really hard. It means I find pleasure in not deriving pleasure from anything.
Huh.
That was a word that I discovered about 15 years ago. I'm like, oh, I don't like you. I don't like you at all, dude. Because I had a word look at me and go, hi, I'm you.
derive pleasure, direct pleasure thing.
It's essentially that things that I should find pleasurable,
Mhm.
I'm like, yeah, that was great. The only other way I could ever define it to people, like, I have a comedian's sense of humor. Like, you can have a comedian on stage, give a set that has everyone floor laughing, and the veteran comic in the back will go, "That was funny. I like this part." Like, how do we know it was how do you know that? You didn't laugh. Because I know it makes other people laugh.
Right. And it makes sense in that,
Yeah.
uh, but that's not a give me a direct example for you specifically.
Sheesh.
There's a part of me that will gauge how much everyone else enjoys a thing before I will go, "Yeah, okay." Because otherwise, I will just kind of go, "This is a great."
But then how come something's really good, you're less inclined to like it?
'Cause I'm also an asshole. Uh,
This people's dream is to be an old man on the porch,
I don't
whittling.
yeah, because I don't wanna like what other people like. And yet, people like these things. Good.
Most
Usually.
usually?
Yeah, usually.
Wow, I think that is a complicated concept.
This is this is why when I have any relationships that last after a certain length of time, I automatically assume they will dwindle and go away because I think I'm a lot. I think
Mm.
I am far too much for any one or group of people to deal with on a regular basis without going, "This is fucking exhausting. I need a break."
I think everybody gets that.
I do get that.
And I logically
You
believe
don't have to
that, but
smile so much like, "Yes, yes, you do."
yeah,
I just look
I
up.
don't emotionally. I knew but logically I know that other people do feel this way.
Yes.
That would be my own level of, main character syndrome that I get into.
Mm, mhm,
Mhm.
yep, so my turn now?
I guess, I don't know. I mean, we don't have to keep going.
What
We've been at this an hour. Also, I'm so glad that Restream automatically records because guess what? I fucking forgot to do. It's like we did for so long and then do it.
we can take a break for a second and answer, non-therapy question that, Norm asked about music. What's a new album you have found on your preferred let's skip the preferred music, so what's a new album that you have found?
Uh,
What's been new to you?
there's a there's a young woman I discovered on TikTok, and she's from London, and she does, like, angry hip hop, and she's just called Alt Black Girl, and every time she pops up on my feed, I'm like, "This is such a good hook." And then I went to her personal page from her links, and she was like, "I will order your CD from London," and it showed up yesterday. ALTBLK, and I think just GRL is her thing. I don't know. The I enjoyed them, and I'm still hooked on fucking Glass Spells, that
Yes.
Mexican I
Oh, yeah,
can't
they're
even though they only have, like, 10 tracks total, at least once a week, I just play it and listen to it, and I just and I'll sway in the apartment.
Yeah, you'll have
The
to send
bone
me
the
all stop
boneless
dancing.
Hmm?
All stop dancing.
I know. What kinda do.
you'll have to send me a link because if you just type Alt Black Girl into Google, that's not the search history you want.
Correct. Correct. You keep talking, I'll see if I can find her.
Um, how about you, Denise?
I'm gonna think about it. So weirdly, I might have found a new artist, at my acupuncturist.
Okay.
Uh, Their name is Shook. Oh, okay. And they have different. Uh, it's all instrumental stuff, but they have some that's like very like, sweet sounds, like very soothing meditation. And then others that are like a little bit more energetic, and I'm like, oh, this would be like this is like low key ADHD foods to work to kind of a vibe uh, because it's high energy, but it's no lyrics to distract you.
Sure. Mhm.
Then the other band, and I had to look it up. I hope this is the band. I literally just I've only listened to them once last week. Royal Blood, pretty sure. Every album has a sound like a different band. Christian played these for me. He's going, and I think he learned about it from one of his old bandmates, and he was like, "Oh yeah, this one sounds like Muse," and then there's another one. Oh wow, that's a very killer vibe, and they must have like a dozen albums. They've been around since 2014, I think.
Hmm.
It's got albums, and it seems like each one is different, with different sort of in a different style. And all of the styles that I've heard so far are the ones that I really like.
Yeah. And I got it wrong, it's alt black era, not I think she would sometimes have to be alt black girl to, like, get
Oh,
those.
okay.
Their band is just alt black. It'd still be okay in the era. Yeah, they're 19 and 16. Yeah, yeah, this is it. They do, like, goth haunting strings, but then they'll throw in, like, shit from, like, bass lines from, like, Prodigy. I don't know, I just dig it, and I first saw one of their videos, I'm like, "Oh, this is a cool look." I'm like, "Who is this?" And then they popped up more, and I was like, "I will spend, like, $10." Yeah, um,
What about you, Kimmel?
My musical tastes are a lot more mainstream and epic. Uh, like
mainstream and what?
not pandemic, but it is. I do feel like I'm very much in the majority and not the minority.
All right, wait. Pedantic and
Pedantic. Is it pedantic?
It's pedantic.
P
Pedantic.
pedantic.
Thank you.
Okay, and I'm
I
not. I wasn't
sometimes
trying to correct you, but I was like,
you were
pedantic.
correct.
I want to know what that means.
Yeah, 'cause I was like, sometimes Table knows words that no one else.
So I just finally look at the word problem. Like, what the fuck is this word anyway? And
I didn't know that you.
you know what else? Like, I believe it was a word, but it did not have the origin that I thought that it did.
Sorry.
Wait, it's not I just assumed it was just old English.
Oh
Oh,
no!
now I gotta look it up, 'cause you
No,
told me once, I was like, "What is wrong with it?" You're like, "It's perfectly fine, it's acceptable, it's."
it is a made-up word from the.
Okay.
So cromulent.
Let me find it. They're helping me right now.
So cromulent was used in an episode where they also used another made-up word, embiggen, which is not a word. They used the word embiggen, and someone said, "Yes, that's a perfectly fine word." Both words have since become part of a lexicon.
What? First known use 1996. Yet this entire time you had me thinking, not you intentionally, but I was like, "Man, Denise." Because you know why also? Right around when I knew you, well, you know what I mean? When I first realized you were using the word that's perfectly cromulent was also around the same time when I realized that you don't say garbage. You don't say throw it in the trash, you say throw it in the rubbish. So I thought you were just going through like a big Anglophile era and you were just looking up old English words to use. And I was like, "Man,
No, I don't love that word.
what?" I mean, I literally thought like, "Oh, she's just going through like this Anglophile phase, and she's just like, I'm using old-timey English with like a Y and an E." Okay.
difference. No, no.
God damn it.
Oh my god, I had no idea that this whole time. How long have we been friends? Like
At
10
least a
years?
decade, a little more. Yeah. I
At
never bothered to
least.
look it up. When you told me what it meant, I was like, oh,
I
okay.
think this June I will.
Maybe. Yeah, sure. Time is meaningless.
And we sort of knew each other before then.
Yeah, but we didn't really hang out until you moved here because you
Yeah.
lived in Seattle.
With all those French kids.
This entire time, no idea that.
No. I have to have told you. Are you
No.
sure you didn't just forget?
No, because I have
I
sent.
know that Kiko doesn't know because he never asked. I know he's never.
I asked you, what does cromulent mean years ago? And you said, it's like fine, it's average. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm like, oh, okay, and that was it. To
Okay.
where, whatever.
Except
Yes, it's perfectly cromulent. Yeah, to where like over the past few years, I use that phrase and I use it at work, and no one has made a Simpsons reference. They're like, oh, that's a cool word. What does it mean? And I'll tell them what it means. And I have yet to run it, I guess, into a hardcore Simpsons fan that says, did you just use the word cromulent? I have used that word talking to Bill Oakley, and he has not reacted to it. He's like, oh, yeah. No, he worked on the Simpsons.
He's the one that gave us steamed hams.
And monorail, kind of.
Oh,
Well, wait, which episode is it? For all I know, he fucking wrote that episode. No, keep going.
just type in cromulent in it.
I got
It's
it.
like the first hit. Anyway, music-wise, I've been listening to Phoebe Bridgers for probably about a year and a half now. I didn't realize she was in another band, Boy Genius, until
God damn
mid
it.
last
6
year.
months ago.
Yeah,
something like
and then the album or the record came out, and a friend of work, uh, who we've been talking about, he's like, "Hey, Boy Genius's new album came out, record." It's like, "Yeah," and I spent all night listening to it. I cried the whole time. Have fun. I'm like, well, that doesn't bode well. And I listened to the album and I hold on. I still cry every time I listen to the fucking thing. But more than I probably should. Because it makes me cry a lot.
I like a good crying album. Also, by the way, he didn't write it, but he is on the fucking commentary of the episode where they talk about the commentary on that episode mentions how they came up with the word. We'll just put that in there too.
Oh, that's hilarious. Um,
Come up with a word, it sounds like it could actually be in use. That's why I believe it.
yeah. But
I guess
16.
Biggin.
I don't see his name on it.
I'm at the Wikipedia. He's not the writer, but he is on the commentary of that episode. He's probably on the commentary in a lot of them.
It says here that a word. Oh no, that's in Biggin. Okay, never mind. Was that someone did before then?
And Biggin has been used because that's what they used to describe the superpowers of Ms. Marvel.
Did they?
Mhm.
Yeah. Changes the size of her appendages. She refers to it as embiggening.
Mhm.
I can't remember if that stood out anyway. Whether it was like that's not a word or they did the thing.
Given how many words that Shakespeare started
Yeah.
I'm out of dialogue from that Thor gets. Thor gets the best line in all of Endgame. I mean, Infinity War. That is, all words are
True.
It was a funny throwaway line, and yet the most poignant thing his character has ever said. And the, the, the phrase "all words are made up" coming from a 1,500-year-old god
Right.
suddenly carries a little more weight.
Right. It's always been true.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway.
That one's tricky for me because I have good English skills, and there's still a part of me that is like, that's not how you say things, and don't make stuff up that isn't already like, that's made up. By which I mean you made something that isn't already and that's not allowed,
Mm.
right? Because objectively, yes, all words are made up, and new words come into the lexicon, and into everyone's
Like
vocabulary.
how for years I would say "swarmy."
Still not a word.
It's not. I know. And in my head, it's because I am mixing "swarthy" with "smarmy." And in my brain, I'm not kidding you. My brain was like, "No, that's a word. You've totally read that somewhere. You've seen it before. It's a real word. Why do people look at you like you're an idiot every time you say the word swarmy?" It You know what? Next comment I write, I'm putting it in there. I'm
But
gonna
what is it going to mean?
I don't know yet. I will will it into existence.
It means that you're both swarthy.
Yeah.
Terrible combination.
Not someone to be messed with.
But it's too similar to the word swarm. So shouldn't something with that?
I don't know. It asked me to think this through
Now
right now.
see, that's getting into the etymology of words. We don't care about that. It is a portmanteau, yes.
Which is allowed,
It is allowed.
but
That's the mashing up of words, right?
Correct.
How come there needs to be a comic book villain called Portmanteau, and all he does is he rips off bits of other villains and combines them into his evil thing.
Trademark copy.
That's right. That's a Spider-Man villain if there ever was one.
Yes, it is.
Or Green Arrow.
Or should. Oh.
Well, no, because Green Arrow is onomatopoeia, one of my favorite. Kevin Smith, man, I love that villain. That's such a cool name. Whenever he does something, he has to say the word. So if he's going to shoot you with an arrow, he'll go, and then he'll shoot you with an arrow.
right.
Before he shoots you with a gun, he'll go bang, and then shoots you with an arrow. Anything he does, he has to say the word right before he does it.
What happens if he doesn't?
He can do it. No, man, it's comic book villain logic.
Yeah.
Remember Matt last week? That was A grade comic book bullshit, and I loved it.
Yeah. Orgy.
Oh, right.
That and Olivia Rodrigo's second album.
I dig her.
I only know like 2, and that's enough for me. I'm not saying like I don't want more, but I'm satisfied with those, and thus I have not sought out more of them.
I don't want to know anything behind the drama that creates the helps her create the songs that she writes.
Mhm.
Because there's teenage angst and drama and bullshit that's light up in that, and along with the Disney factory of pumping out people and using them up, and that's different. That's different shit altogether.
Yes.
Disney, you may completely use me up. That's fine.
Yeah.
Just pay me. That's whatever.
What's different? You're an adult.
Yeah, they can't.
Fine. Yeah.
They'll just put you in every other.
This will be somewhat on track here because I can tell by your song, by your artist choices, that you find all your new music, a lot of your new music from SNL, and watched. No, that not true.
I don't watch a single episode of SNL.
Wow.
I work with 5.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. For the longest time now, I was under the impression that you watched SNL. Because they must be doing it right then because their musical guests are music artists that the kids listen to.
They gotta get this.
Oh, well, then
Watch-
maybe this isn't gonna make a lot of sense or
Nothing on this episode has made sense. Go for it.
that's true. Justin Timberlake was the guest last week. Why is that?
Oh, yeah,
He's not great.
yeah. Have you read Britney's biography?
There we go.
Okay.
I have not read Britney's biography. I don't know that I only surmise because that was popular. Why? Oh, because of Britney's book and he's shady to her. That's all he told me. I don't think he's read it either to be like, give me details. But the thing that I found was they both got turned out of the same meat grinder.
Yes.
And granted, like Britney Spears is a lot, uh, but also she's made a lot of weird choices. My point is anybody right in a situation like that where they, they basically had full-time careers and a spotlight on them from a young age. Again, I have not read or heard any details about who
It-
did what to
It was
who.
one of those things like nothing was illegal, but it was very shitty
Right.
kind of thing.
And this was
Yeah, and they were both because they're the same age. It's not like there's a big age. A year. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So grow up in the spotlight, working for Disney
Sure.
as kids, and everything that entails. And then as young adults, they are in relationships with each other, and see, I don't want to sound like I'm like excusing
What's this have to do with him being on SNL?
just the fact he was commissioned.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Okay.
sure.
Oh,
A hard time, like, in a way, because again, I don't want it to sound like I'm like, oh, trying to excuse his behavior, because again, I don't know what he did. I'm just really curious. I don't know, maybe I should read it and then I can have an opinion, but to say that, oh, Justin Timberlake was shitty to me when we were in a relationship. But he also comes from a background where shitty things probably happened to him, and hurt people. When you grow up with circumstances, and again, and just because you have bullying does not make them not shitty circumstances. Um, but I'm just like, I bet there are going to be people out there who, for lack of a better way of putting it, aren't going to hold you accountable because he also went through that same shitty ringer. Like, how can you be a good person when you grow up in this environment?
Correct. I follow the questions that you're asking. In this particular sorry, not in this particular case. In the example that you're talking about, when we're talking about child celebrities
Mhm.
who go from either kids or teens into adulthood, all working for the entertainment industry.
Right.
And especially if they are being molded and it's a commodity that can be sold and commercialized. We don't want to talk about that because if we start talking about that, then we stop spending money on it, companies stop making money on it, and then they discard these people.
Mhm.
Um, or they come up with ways to distract us from talking about it in the first place. So that's why it's hard to have those conversations, because we aren't those people. Those situations, it doesn't change the things that would happen to, or or more modern, what's happening, what happens with Olivia Rodrigo, or the person that she dated, or the other person involved with that, who also has a recording career and also makes albums and also sings. Like, if we're not allowed to come off of their own pain and suffering and turning into art, musical form, then no one would pay any attention to Taylor Swift. Um, she was also in that she came from Nashville and was part of the country music industry before finally, you know what? Fuck this. I'm out of the country music business. And that, yeah, that's because that was the album 1989. That was your who? Taylor Swift?
Oh yeah, that's right. Just entire.
It's all right.
I don't know when we get from Britney.
Well, because they're
Sorry.
all iterations of the
Oh, okay.
same thing. Keep is we focus on, oh, it's a he said she said. No, it's not. It is a systematic or systemic problem within the music industry, within the entertainment industry. Churn out content for people to buy
By
and
sexualizing
consume
children.
by sexualizing children. And when that's poorly for the children involved, they cover up as much as they possibly can, so otherwise they get rid of it because they like, "Oh, we can't make any more money off." I mean, in Britney's case, it was when you also have undiagnosed mental health issues that are used against you because you are also a woman
And your dad's a dick.
and gains conservatorship over you are complete. And it also surrounds that kind of like, well, they're rich and they can afford these things. There is a video of Left Eye, for Left Eye, from TLC from the 90s that talks about this, where he's like, let's talk about being billionaires in the music industry. It's like our first album, that means it made this much money, this, this, this was our cut of it. So we're not millionaires, but each of us we got this amount of money. 3 ways. Okay, that means we each have this. That means we also paid out this. That means we have this. That means the year that we had a gold album, I made $50,000.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was how much money I made that year.
That's all entertainment stuff.
Like, and then people are like, well, "Why are you scrounging around for money?" It's like, because I just made a minimum or like a blue-collar, white-collar jobs were the low end for the mid.
Right.
And
That's a
once
whole.
that's gone, I I have to put out another album and hope it makes as much money again. So there's a lot of fucked up shit that we still. You're right. There is like there are things to consider about how Justin Timberlake may not have asked me during that time period where he was involved. I think it. I don't know. I haven't read the book. Now I feel like we need to read this book. We need to read this book.
I've heard the audio
Talk about it.
version.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about it. It's
Yeah, that's fine.
no. Like the whole book. I wouldn't want to like discuss the whole book.
Sure.
I mean,
It probably would have been smart to have read the book before having this conversation. Thought that I had while I was watching it because Christian had said, "Oh, we're mad at him right now because X, Y, Z." I think the exact words that I said were, "I'm sure people will have a hard time being mad at him under the auspices of, well, he went through the same messed up system
Mhm.
as Britney." And so, like, I was looking at it from a sort of like, obviously he got a gig after the book came out. So like, how are people deciding to push this under, or make ignore it essentially. However.
I think it's because what he did again is like was not illegal, actionable. It was really shitty, and in the grand scheme of things we let get away with, like it's on the bottom rung. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I mean, fucking Dave Chappelle popped up on the same episode, and you can actually see some members of SNL being furious that he showed up. And when they're all on stage clapping tonight, yeah, like Dave Chappelle just showed up. You can see the publicly out queer members of the SNL cast like shoot daggers, and you see them in the background talking to each other. And you can see one of their mouth like, "What the fuck? What is he doing here?" My brain just bounced. Arms like, what's something that you have during the week that gives you joy? You know what one of those things are that I find myself doing from time to time?
What's that?
I like to go on TikTok and just look at the interviews between Stephen Colbert and Nicki Minaj. She has like this low key crush on him, and it's the most charming thing ever. Like she's come up with like lyrics on the fly about stripping him, and about like, well, you're gonna have to meet my wife one day, and he's like, I'm happily married. She's like, no, but there's that thing. It's a show where you can have more than one. He's like, sister, it's it's actually very charming. And whenever I get down, I have certain videos. I'll be like, okay, that makes me smile. Yeah. Anyway,
Um, my final music then.
okay.
The other music that I keep finding is on Instagram. Like there's a duo, Mia and Allie. Allie plays bagpipes, Mia plays violin.
Oh, I see that.
They've met through doing like create videos and bonded, and they're actually playing a countrywide concert. They're going to be in March. I'm still like, I keep going, am I going to buy a ticket to this? Am I going to buy a ticket to this and go by myself? Because I don't know anyone that's going to. There's them. There's a guitarist named Kiki Wong that I like a lot. I just had some. There's also it's not a shamashang. It's like the Chinese equivalent of that. There's that I really enjoy. That I didn't find their names actually, unfortunately.
You'll get that.
Yeah. Okay.
There it is.
Cool. Is it my turn now?
No, I think we got to wrap up the show. We've been going for like 90 minutes.
That's a show.
Yep. Although now the whole time, also in my head, I've only had one part of a fucking head.
Which one?
The cover song. Last Kiss.
Sure.
Yeah. Isn't that
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cover of a 1920s
Yeah.
song, or well, no, maybe 1940s.
I don't know. It popped in my head.
I think you were right on the line the first time. I think it's an older song.
There you go. That's just what my head was doing.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. Just like that thing I posted a few days ago. As soon as I woke up,
1964.
my brain was like,
Well, then we were both.
her name's Pussy Galore. Did that have the same connotations when Bond came out? And my brain's like, when did you start using that worm as a slang for the vagina? And then I spent an hour down that rabbit hole. I know everything about that, by the way. Yeah.
And did you go and look this up?
I through Merriam-Webster, like I went to legit sources, not like.
No, I'm just saying this because it's still going.
That's fine. Oh, that's the least. The Rider cable, that's the least of the.
I'm aware. There are times that I'm like, "Oh, I wanna do this thing." Do I wanna look this up on the internet? I
What
don't
the-
know.
I guess, but like they're still gonna.
I mean, yes. Do I believe it works that way? No.
Well, you know,
I mean, kinda.
you know, when you're like typing stuff in,
It just doesn't
Yeah, they did. Doesn't do anything.
it is not off your search history. It may not autofill, but it's still there. Autofill and search history are 2 different things.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, Google just admitted that.
Yeah,
Like, it
we're gonna get
was last week. They're like, "Oh, in case you missed this in the news,
I ordered it.
Google's shitty." But we knew that.
Yep.
my other takeaway is that there used to be a street outside of London called Grove Cunt Lane. That was the official name of the street. And I was like, that's a really awkward name for a street.
The artist name, Xiaoju Chen, plays the Pippa. Or Pippa. I don't know how to pronounce.
Egg?
No,
No, that's
not
Peppa.
That's Pepper.
the
Who's abusive.
of
Loves
the she's from the band called the Either.
Okay.
We should wrap up before it gets weird.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that part.
Next week we're gonna have a guest. I gotta verify the date. Okay, yes,
Yes.
I believe.
February. It'll be February 6th. Yes.
On that note,
Yeah, I'm around that.
I'm being Rita.
And I'm Cable Hashitani.
Thanks everybody for tolerating us. Talk to y'all next week.